Don't touch him! She screamed as the child wrapped his tiny fingers around the billionaire's coat. Matteo, please, he doesn't know you. Before we dive into this story, I need to know something. Have you ever felt your heart recognize something your mind couldn't explain? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you've ever felt like love was worth fighting for, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to hear how this ends. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. Lena Alvarez started every morning the same way. Starbucks drive-thru at 6:12 a.m. A tall coffee she barely tasted. Matteo balanced on her hip while he hummed to himself. The barista knew her order. That should have felt comforting. Instead, it reminded her how predictable her life had become. She worked at the Reed Grand Hotel downtown, the kind of place with marble floors so polished you felt guilty walking on them. Lena cleaned rooms that cost more per night than her weekly paycheck. She wiped fingerprints off mirrors she never looked into herself. Matteo sat in his stroller beside her housekeeping cart most mornings, chewing on the corner of a board book, wide dark eyes taking everything in. He rarely cried, rarely spoke. He watched. You good? Rosa asked once, passing her in the hallway with fresh towels stacked to her chin. Lena nodded, always nodded, because if she stopped moving, if she let herself feel, the grief would catch up. And grief was faster than her. Noah Reed avoided his own hotel whenever possible. The Reed Grand was his inheritance, not just the building, but the expectations, the press, the whispered comparisons to his father. He preferred anonymity. Black baseball cap, early morning walks through the lobby before guests stirred, slipping out side exits like a man avoiding his own shadow. That morning, he stepped into the lobby just as sunlight spilled through the glass atrium. The piano played itself, a programmed melody meant to sound warm. He hated it. That's when he felt it. Not a sound. Presence. He looked down. A toddler stood 3 feet away, one hand resting on the leg of his tailored coat. The child looked up at him with unsettling calm, like he'd found something he'd been searching for. Noah froze. The boy tilted his head, then smiled. Lena dropped her clipboard. It clattered loudly against the marble, drawing stairs. Her heart slammed against her ribs as she ran. Matteo! Her voice echoed too sharply, too panicked. The toddler didn't flinch. He didn't move away from the man either. I'm so sorry, Lena said breathlessly, pulling Matteo back. He wanders. It's okay, Noah said, though his voice sounded far away even to himself. The child reached again. This time Noah felt it, a strange pressure behind his eyes, like a memory trying to surface without permission. What's his name? He asked before he could stop himself. Lena hesitated. Matteo. Something twisted in Noah's chest. Matteo. He nodded once and stepped back, creating distance. Cute kid. He walked away faster than necessary. Behind him, Matteo cried for the first time that day. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. Over the next week, it happened again. And again. Matteo followed Noah through the lobby like gravity pulled him there. Slipped from Lena's side during linen runs. Stood outside conference rooms Noah exited. Once, sat on the floor outside the private elevator like he was waiting. Lena's stomach stayed knotted. Children were intuitive, people said, but this felt specific. One afternoon, while folding sheets in the supply room, Lena caught her reflection in the metal cabinet. Dark circles under her eyes. Her hair pulled back too tight. She looked older than 27. Rosa leaned in. That kid of yours has a crush on the boss, huh? Lena forced a laugh. He just likes tall people. But that wasn't true. Matteo didn't smile at just anyone. Only Noah. Noah started changing his schedule. It didn't help. Every encounter left him unsettled. Like walking past a song he almost remembered. He found himself lingering, watching the boy when Lena wasn't looking. The way Matteo pressed his palm to glass. The way he tilted his head, listening. One afternoon, Noah crouched to Matteo's level without thinking. You lost, buddy? He murmured. Matteo reached into his pocket, pulled out something small. A blue toy car. He placed it carefully in Noah's hand. Noah's breath caught, because he owned that car once. 20 years ago. Same chipped paint. Same missing wheel. Impossible. He closed his fingers around it anyway. That night, Lena couldn't sleep. Matteo lay beside her in their apartment, clutching his stuffed dinosaur. She watched his chest rise and fall, a mix of terror and love tightening her throat. "You don't remember," she whispered. "You're too young." But her hands shook, because she remembered everything. 3 unanswered questions lingered in the air like a held breath. Why did Matteo recognize a man he'd never met? What memory was Noah running from? And how long could Lena protect the truth before it demanded to be seen? Because whether they were ready or not, their collision was no longer avoidable. The fire alarm split the morning in half. Not the sharp, panicked kind, this one was slower, heavier. A low mechanical cry that crawled through the reed grand and settled in the bones. Guests spilled into the hallways in slippers and robes. Doors opened. Voices rose. Someone laughed, assuming it was a drill. Lena froze. Matteo was on the floor beside her cart, lining up shampoo bottles like cars on a road. When the sound hit him, his hands stilled. His eyes lifted, not to Lena, toward the lobby. "No," she whispered, already moving. But chaos has a way of choosing its own order. The elevator doors opened all at once. People pushed through. A security guard shouted directions. The piano stopped mid-note, leaving silence that felt wrong. And in the middle of it all, Noah Reed stepped out of the stairwell. Matteo stood. He didn't cry, didn't look scared. He ran. "Matteo!" Lena's voice cracked as she dropped the cart and ran after him, her shoes slipping on marble. Noah saw the child coming too late. Tiny legs, determined face, arms reaching, and then impact. Matteo collided with him, wrapping both arms around Noah's leg like he belonged there. Like this was the safest place in the building. The world slowed. Noah looked down. Matteo pressed his cheek against the fabric of his coat. Warm, solid, real. Something broke open in Noah's chest. "I've got him," Noah said before Lena reached them. His hand hovered, unsure, then rested lightly on the boy's back. Lena skidded to a stop. "Don't touch him," she said, breathless, fear sharp in her throat. "Please." Matteo didn't let go. The alarm wailed on. People stared. Noah didn't move his hand. "I'm not hurting him," he said quietly. Lena's eyes flashed. "You don't know that." Matteo looked up at Noah and did something that made the room disappear. He laughed. Not a giggle. A laugh full of joy. The kind that comes from recognition. They ended up outside. The fire trucks never came. A burned bagel in the staff kitchen, it turned out. Someone joked about it later. No one laughed then. The sidewalk was packed with guests and employees. Cold air. Sirens in the distance. A food truck idled across the street, radio playing an old country song. Matteo sat on the curb between Lena and Noah, holding the blue toy car in his lap. Noah stared at it like it might vanish. "Where did he get that?" Noah asked. Lena's mouth went dry. "It's his." "That exact car?" "Yes." He nodded slowly. "I had one just like it." Matteo pushed the car toward Noah again. This time, Noah didn't take it. "I think," Noah said, choosing each word carefully, "we should talk." Lena's laugh came out wrong. "About what?" "A kid being a kid. He followed me. Multiple times. He's 2. And he gave me this." Noah pointed to the car. "Which I lost years ago." Silence stretched. Matteo hummed, rolling the car back and forth over a crack in the pavement. Lena stood. "We're done here." She reached for Matteo. He pulled away. That was when Noah felt it. A memory sharp and sudden. A hospital hallway. White walls. The smell of antiseptic. A woman crying quietly into her hands. A nurse saying, "You can wait here." Noah staggered back a step. Lena noticed. "You okay?" she asked before she could stop herself. Noah swallowed. "Yeah. I just..." Matteo stood again. Walked to Noah. Took his hand. Noah let him. Felt natural. Too natural. "I don't want to scare you," Noah said. But something's going on. Lena's chest tightened. Nothing is going on. Then why does it feel like I already know him? Mateo squeezed Noah's finger. Lena closed her eyes. They sat in the employee break room an hour later. Plastic chairs. Vending machine humming. A faded poster about hand-washing peeling at the edges. Mateo sat on the floor, rolling the car in circles. Noah leaned forward, elbows on his knees. I'm not asking for anything, he said. I just need answers. There are none, Lena said. Lena, he said gently, surprising them both. She looked up. How do you know my name? It's on your badge. She nodded. Right? Silence. You look tired, Noah said. She laughed softly. That's motherhood. No, he said. That's grief. Her head snapped up. I know what it looks like, he added quickly. I've lived with it. Mateo looked between them, serious now. Lena stood. This was a mistake. She reached for her son. Mateo didn't resist this time. But as she turned to leave, Noah said the thing that stopped her. Was he born in St. Mary's? Lena froze. Noah's heart hammered. How do you, she began. I don't know, Noah said. It just came to me. St. Mary's. The hospital from his memory. The room felt smaller. I need you to leave us alone, Lena said, her voice shaking. Noah nodded. Okay. But his eyes didn't leave Mateo. And Mateo didn't look away either. That night, Noah couldn't sleep. He drove. Out of downtown. Past the suburbs. Past strip malls and closed diners. The radio played static until he turned it off. He parked outside St. Mary's. The building hadn't changed. Same brick. Same lights glowing soft against the dark. He sat there a long time. Then he went inside. At the records desk, a young clerk looked up. Can I help you? I'm looking for information, Noah said. From about 3 years ago. She hesitated. Are you family? I might be. She studied him, then nodded. Name? He said it. Her fingers paused on the keyboard. Wait here, she said. When she returned, her face was different. Careful. There was a child, she said. Premature. Complications. The father signed some forms. The mother. Stop, Noah said. The room tilted. The clerk lowered her voice. The child didn't survive. Noah closed his eyes. That was the story he'd been told. The one he paid not to question. He left without another word. Lena sat on her apartment floor, back against the couch, Mateo asleep in her arms. The truth pressed against her ribs like a second heart. She'd promised herself she would never let it surface. But Mateo had chosen. And now Noah was looking. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. I'm not here to take anything from you. I just need to understand. Please. She stared at the screen. Mateo stirred, his fingers curling around the fabric of her shirt. She whispered, I tried to protect you. Outside, a car passed, headlights sweeping across the wall. Inside, Lena made a decision she'd been avoiding for 2 years. The next morning, Noah stood in the lobby again. No alarm this time, just quiet. He didn't know what he was waiting for. But when the elevator doors opened and Lena stepped out with Mateo, his chest tightened. Mateo saw him, smiled, and walked forward. Lena followed. Her eyes met Noah's. And for the first time, she didn't look away. But neither of them knew. This was only the beginning. Lena told herself nothing had changed. She still woke before sunrise. Still waited in the Starbucks drive-thru with Mateo half asleep against her shoulder. Still clocked in at the Reed Grand, tied on her apron, pushed her cart down the same halls. But everything felt louder now. Every step echoed. Every glance felt heavy. And every time she turned a corner, she wondered if Noah would be there. He tried to give her space. That almost made it worse. Noah returned to his routines with force, like discipline could quiet his thoughts. Morning meetings, investor calls, walks through the lobby with his head down. But he saw Mateo everywhere. In the way a child's laughter bounced off the marble. In the blue of the hotel pool. In the tiny shoes left near the staff lockers. He kept telling himself this was coincidence. Grief does strange things, he thought. Makes ghosts where there are none. Still, his hand kept drifting to his pocket, where the blue toy car now lived. They crossed paths 3 days later near the vending machines. Lena stopped short. Noah did too. For a moment, neither spoke. The machine hummed between them. Mateo sat in his stroller, kicking his feet. "Hi," Noah said finally. "Hi," Lena replied. Silence again. Mateo reached for Noah. Lena turned the stroller slightly. "We should get going." Noah nodded. "Of course." He stepped aside. But as Lena passed, he said quietly, "I won't push." She paused. "I just want you to know that." She didn't answer. At home, Lena scrubbed the kitchen sink too hard, like she could erase thoughts with effort. She remembered the hospital. The night they told her the baby wouldn't make it. The forms. The signatures. The check that came later with too many zeros. She told herself she was doing the right thing. Mateo had survived because she fought. She wouldn't let the past take that from her. Noah sat in his office long after sunset. The city glowed outside the windows. Traffic hummed below. He opened a drawer he hadn't touched in years. Inside were old documents, hospital papers, a folded note written in his father's handwriting. Some things are better left closed. Noah crushed the note in his hand. He stood, restless, and left the office. They collided again in the hotel laundry room. Literally. A basket tipped. Sheets spilled. "Oh, sorry," Lena said automatically. Noah knelt to help. Their hands brushed. Both pulled back. Mateo watched from his stroller, eyes sharp. "We can't keep pretending this is nothing," Noah said. Lena stood. "We can. And we should." "No," he said. "You're afraid." "So are you," she shot back. That landed. Noah exhaled. "I'm trying not to be." "Then try harder somewhere else." Mateo whined softly. Lena's voice cracked. "Please." Noah nodded. "Okay." But as he stood, he saw something tucked into Mateo's jacket pocket. A hospital bracelet. Faded. Worn. With his last name on it. That night, Noah didn't go home. He walked the city streets until his legs ached. Past diners closing for the night. Past a CVS with bright lights and tired faces. His phone buzzed. A message from Lena. "This can't happen." He stared at it for a long time, then typed back, "I don't know how to stop it." She didn't respond. Lena lay awake beside Mateo, staring at the ceiling. She told herself love meant protection. Protection meant distance. But Mateo had never slept better than after seeing Noah. That truth hurt most of all. The next day, a storm rolled in. Rain streaked the hotel windows. Thunder rattled the glass. Mateo stood at the lobby doors watching the rain. Noah watched him. Lena saw them both. She felt the pull again. Strong, dangerous. She turned away. Missed the way Noah's face fell. Missed the moment Mateo cried when she did. Pride is a liar. And theirs was about to cost them everything. The call came just after lunch. Lena was restocking towels when her phone buzzed in her pocket. She almost ignored it. Almost. Unknown number. She answered anyway. "Hello, Ms. Alvarez?" a woman asked. "This is Children's Health Services. We're calling about Mateo." Lena's breath caught. "Is he okay?" "He's fine," the woman said quickly. "But we need you to come in. Today." "Why?" There was a pause. "There's a paperwork issue. It's complicated." Lena's hand tightened around the phone. "I don't understand." "We'll explain when you arrive." The line went dead. The office sat in a low brick building near a strip mall, between a tax service and a closed-down video store. A faded American flag hung near the entrance, twisting in the wind. Mateo sat on Lena's lap in the waiting room, unusually quiet. He held the blue toy car, rolling it over her wrist again and again. "You're okay," she whispered. "Mama's here." A door opened. "Ms. Alvarez?" They followed the woman down a narrow hall. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The air smelled like disinfectant and old carpet. Inside the office, another man waited. Lena stopped cold. Noah stood near the window, hands in his pockets, shoulders tense. "What is he doing here?" Lena asked, her voice sharp. The woman cleared her throat. "Mr. Reed is listed on Mateo's file." Lena felt the room tilt. "That's not possible," she said. Noah turned. "Lena, I didn't know until this morning." She laughed, short and bitter. "You expect me to believe that?" The woman gestured for them to sit. "There seems to have been an error 3 years ago. A child declared deceased was later discharged under emergency circumstances." Lena's ears rang. Mateo leaned forward, pointing at Noah. "Him." The man smiled gently. "Yes, him." They left the building an hour later. No answers, just questions, and a follow-up appointment scheduled for next week. The sky had darkened. Rain threatened again. Lena strapped Mateo into his car seat with shaking hands. Noah stood nearby, silent. "This doesn't change anything," Lena said finally. "I'm not asking it to," Noah replied. She closed the door harder than necessary. As she pulled out of the lot, Mateo twisted in his seat, looking back at Noah through the window. He cried, a sound that cut through her. The storm hit halfway home. Sheets of rain. Traffic slowed. Wipers struggled. A truck hydroplaned 2 cars ahead. Horns blared. Lena swerved. The world lurched. Then nothing. When the car stopped, silence rushed in. Smoke rose from the hood. Mateo screamed. Lena fumbled with the belt, hands slick with rain and fear. She pulled him free and ran. Cars passed. Someone shouted. Someone called 911. Lena knelt on the shoulder, clutching Mateo, soaked and shaking. Headlights cut through the rain. A black SUV pulled over. Noah jumped out. He didn't hesitate. He took Mateo first, wrapping him in his jacket, pressing the child's face into his chest. "It's okay," Noah said. "I've got you." Mateo clung to him, sobbing. Lena watched, stunned. The way Noah held him, steady, sure, like he'd done it 100 times. They sat together under the overpass while waiting for the tow truck. Rain hammered the concrete. Water pooled near their feet. Mateo had fallen asleep against Noah's chest, thumb in his mouth. Lena hugged her arms around herself. "Thank you," she said quietly. Noah nodded. "I'm just glad I was close." Silence settled. Not awkward. Heavy. "I didn't plan this," Lena said after a while. "Any of it." "I know," Noah replied. She swallowed. "I was scared." "So was I." She looked at him then. Really looked. He looked tired. Not billionaire tired. Human tired. "He deserves peace," Lena said. "So do you," Noah said. She looked away. Mateo shifted, murmuring something in his sleep. Noah smiled without thinking. Lena saw it. Something cracked. The tow truck arrived. Then the police. Then paperwork. By the time they were done, the rain had slowed to a drizzle. Noah offered to drive them home. Lena hesitated. Mateo stirred, reaching for Noah even in his sleep. She nodded. The apartment felt smaller with Noah inside. He ducked under the doorway, set Mateo gently on the couch. Lena grabbed dry clothes, a blanket. They moved around each other carefully. Noah noticed the little things. The chipped mug. The photos taped to the fridge. Mateo's height marked on the wall in pencil. "This is nice," Noah said. Lena shrugged. "It's enough." Mateo woke, saw Noah, smiled. He held up the toy car. "V-room," he whispered. Noah knelt. "That's a fast one." Mateo handed it to him. Lena watched. Her chest hurt. They sat on opposite ends of the couch while Mateo played between them. The rain started again, soft this time. "You don't have to decide anything tonight," Noah said. Lena nodded. "I know." A long pause. "He's yours, isn't he?" Noah asked quietly. Lena's eyes filled. "Yes," she said. "He is." Noah closed his eyes. When he opened them, there were tears there. "I missed everything," he said. Lena shook her head. "You didn't miss this." She gestured to Mateo. Mateo looked up, sensing the shift. He crawled into Noah's lap. Noah froze, then slowly wrapped his arms around him. Lena's breath caught. She saw it then, the fracture in his armor. And it terrified her. Because once something breaks open, it never goes back the same. Later, after Noah left, Lena lay awake listening to Mateo breathe. Her phone buzzed. A message from Noah. "I won't disappear again." She stared at the words. Her heart answered before her fear could stop it. "Have you ever been stuck with someone who made you feel too much? Tell me what happened." Outside, the rain washed the streets clean. Inside, Lena knew one thing for certain. Holding the truth back any longer would only make the fall harder. And the truth was already knocking. The truth did not arrive all at once. Came in pieces. Quiet ones. The kind that slip in when you are too tired to keep your guard up. It started with Mateo getting sick. Just a fever. Nothing serious. But enough to send Lena into panic. Enough to bring back memories she had buried deep. Hospital lights. Machines. The sound of her own heartbeat in her ears. She called in sick to work. Sat on the couch all day with Mateo pressed against her chest. A cool cloth on his forehead. Outside, the neighborhood moved on. A lawnmower buzzed. Kids rode bikes up and down the street. Someone grilled meat 2 houses down. Normal life. Inside, Lena felt 13 seconds away from losing everything. Her phone buzzed again. "Noah. How's he doing?" She stared at the screen. Mateo shifted, murmuring Noah's name in his sleep. That was the thing that broke her. She typed back, "Can you come by?" Noah arrived with a pharmacy bag and a stuffed dog he must have grabbed last minute. He didn't knock loud. Didn't rush. He stepped inside like someone who knew the space mattered. Mateo smiled weakly when he saw him. "Hey, buddy," Noah said softly, kneeling. "Heard you're not feeling great." Mateo reached out. Noah took his hand. Lena watched from the kitchen doorway, arms crossed tight around herself. She told herself this was temporary. She told herself a lot of things. That night, Mateo finally fell asleep between them on the couch. The TV played low. Some cooking show neither of them watched. Noah sat stiff at first, careful not to cross a line. Lena broke the silence. "You didn't ask why," she said. Noah turned to her. "Why what?" "Why I didn't tell you." He thought for a moment. "I figured when you were ready you would." She let out a shaky breath. "I wasn't ready then. I don't know if I am now." "That's okay," he said. She looked at him. "No, it's not." She stood and walked to the window. Outside, a police car rolled by slowly. Red and blue lights flashed across the wall. "I was 24, she began. "I was working 2 jobs. You were gone." Noah swallowed. "They told me he wouldn't make it," she continued. "They told me to prepare." She wrapped her arms around herself. "You signed papers," she said. "Your father did too. They said it was easier that way. That he'd be more comfortable." Her voice dropped. "I didn't agree." Noah stood. "I stayed," Lena said. "I stayed every night. I watched him breathe. I watched him fight." She turned, tears streaming now. "They were wrong." Noah's chest felt like it was caving in. "He lived," she said simply. "And when they realized the mistake, they panicked." She laughed, hollow. "So did I." Noah sank back onto the couch. "I was told he died," he said quietly. "I know," Lena replied. "They made sure you believed it." Silence filled the room. Mateo shifted, curling closer to Noah. Noah placed a hand on the child's back, grounding himself. "I should have checked," he said. "I should have stayed." "Yes," Lena said. "You should have." The words hung there, not cruel, just true. Noah nodded. "I'm sorry." She shook her head. "I didn't let you know. I didn't make it safe to," he said. That stopped her. They sat with that truth between them. Later, when Mateo was tucked into bed, Lena and Noah sat at the small kitchen table. A single light above them. The rest of the apartment dark. Noah rubbed his hands together. "I don't want to fix this with money." She scoffed softly. "Good. Because you can't." "I want to show up," he said. "Even if you tell me to leave." She studied his face. The lines around his eyes. the fear he wasn't hiding well. You don't get to be his father just because you want to, she said. I know, Noah replied, but I want to earn the right to try. That word, earn, settled into her chest. Days passed. Noah didn't push. He came by when invited, left when asked, sat on the floor and played with Mateo, learned his favorite snacks, the way he liked his stories read, the song that helped him sleep. Lena watched it all, scared her how easy it looked. One afternoon, she caught Noah tying Mateo's shoes. You do that well, she said. He smiled faintly. Practice. She frowned. From where? My sister, he said. Her kids. Before I disappeared. Regret threaded his voice. She softened without meaning to. One night, after Mateo was asleep, Noah stood by the door. I'll head out, he said. Lena nodded, then hesitated. Stay, she said quietly. He did. They didn't touch, didn't move closer. They just sat. Sometimes that was harder. The unraveling came in a hospital room. Follow-up appointment, paperwork, questions. The doctor glanced between them. Parents. Lena opened her mouth. Noah beat her to it. Yes, he said. Both. Lena froze. The word echoed. Afterward, in the parking garage, she rounded on him. You can't just say that. I know, he said. I'm sorry. It slipped. She pressed her palms to her eyes. Do you know how hard this is for me? Yes, he said. That's why I'm not leaving. She laughed through tears. You think staying makes it easier? No, he said. I think disappearing makes it worse. She looked at him then, really looked, and she saw it. Not a billionaire. Not a mistake. A man trying to make something right. That night, after Noah left, Lena sat alone on the couch. She thought about all the nights she'd cried silently. All the times she'd convinced herself she didn't need help. Didn't need anyone. Mateo stirred in his room. She went to him, watched him sleep, and understood something painful and true. Love had already changed the shape of her life. She could either honor it or keep running from it. And if this story has ever made you feel that tightness in your chest, that quiet fear of caring too much, then staying with it matters. Because some truths ask to be witnessed, not skipped past. Choosing to stay, to listen, to feel is its own kind of courage. Lena exhaled. Tomorrow everything would be said out loud. And once the truth is spoken, nothing stays the same. The breaking point was coming. The call came on a Tuesday. No warning. No softness. Just a number Lena didn't recognize and a voice that sounded practiced. Ms. Alvarez, this is legal counsel for the Reed family estate. We need to discuss Mateo's status. Lena's hand went numb. I don't understand, she said. You will, the voice replied. Soon. The line went dead. Noah found her sitting on the kitchen floor when he arrived that evening. Mateo was at daycare. The apartment was too quiet. They're coming for him, Lena said flatly. Noah crouched in front of her. No one is taking him. You don't know that, she snapped. You don't know your family. He didn't argue. That scared her more. They think money solves everything, she said. They think I'm temporary. Noah took a breath. My father made mistakes. I won't let them repeat. You already did, she said. The words landed hard. I trusted you, she continued. And now they know about him. Noah's face fell. I didn't tell them. Someone did, she said. And it doesn't matter who. This is what happens when you let people like you into our lives. Silence. You mean me? Noah said. Yes, she replied. That night, the rain returned. Heavy. Cold. Noah drove aimlessly, windshield wipers fighting the storm. Every street looked the same. Every thought worse than the last. He pulled over near a closed high school football field. The bleachers empty. Lights off. He sat there gripping the wheel. He thought about walking away. It would be easier. Cleaner. Money could be sent. Lawyers could smooth things over. Mateo would be safe. Wouldn't he? The idea hollowed him out. The next day, Lena was served papers at work. In the hotel lobby. In front of guests. She didn't cry, didn't yell. She simply folded the papers and walked out. She picked up Matteo early, drove without destination, ended up at a park near the river. Matteo played in the dirt while Lena stared at the water. Her phone buzzed. Noah. She didn't answer. He found them anyway. Noah stood at the edge of the playground, soaked from the rain, eyes searching. Matteo spotted him first. He ran straight into Noah's arms. Lena stood. Don't, she warned. Noah held the child, eyes never leaving Lena. I'm not leaving him. You don't get to decide that, she said. This is my son. And mine, Noah said quietly. The word hit her like a slap. You lost that right, she said. Matteo whimpered, sensing the shift. Noah set him down gently. I'll fight, Noah said. Not with money, with truth. Lena laughed bitterly. Truth? You hid for 3 years. I was told he died. And you believed it, she said. Because it was easier. That cut deep. I won't be easy now, Noah replied. She shook her head. You don't understand. If this turns into a war, they'll win. Then I'll stand in front, he said. You can't protect him from your world, she said. I've been doing that since the day he was born. And look where we are, Noah said softly. The words weren't cruel. They were honest. That night, Lena packed a bag. Not much, just enough. She laid Matteo's clothes out carefully, folded his blanket, slipped the blue toy car into the side pocket. She wrote a note. I need to keep him safe. She left before sunrise. Noah woke to silence. No message. No sound. He drove to her apartment. Empty. Panic rose fast. He called. Voicemail. He went to the daycare. They hadn't seen her. He sat in his car, hands shaking. He'd lost them. Again. Lena drove until the city disappeared. Past suburbs. Past billboards. Past gas stations with flickering signs. She stopped at a roadside diner somewhere off Route 66. Matteo ate pancakes. Smiled. Unaware. She watched him and felt her heart split. She loved Noah. That was the truth she couldn't outrun. And love made everything dangerous. Back in the city, Noah stood in his father's old study. He opened every drawer, every file. He found the truth. Signed forms. Altered records. Silence bought and paid for. His father had buried a living child. Noah sank to the floor. I won't be him, he whispered. Lena's phone buzzed as the sun set. A message from Noah. I know everything. I'm standing up to them. Please come back. She stared at it. Matteo slept beside her, one hand curled around the toy car. She typed, if I come back, everything breaks. The reply came fast. Then let it break. I won't let you fall alone. Her chest ached. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes it's just the beginning of goodbye. Have you ever lost someone because you were too afraid to fight? Comment below. Lena turned the car around. Because running had already cost her too much. And the reckoning was waiting. Lena returned to the city just before dawn. The skyline rose out of the dark like a quiet challenge. Familiar. Unforgiving. She parked across the street from Noah's building and sat there with the engine off. Matteo slept in the back seat, his breath steady, unaware of the weight pressing on her chest. This was the moment. Not the fight. Not the lawyers. Not the fear. The choice. She could still turn around. Instead, she got out of the car. Noah had not slept. He stood by the window, watching the street the way someone watches the ocean after a storm, hoping to see proof that the world hadn't ended. When he saw Lena's car, his knees almost gave out. He didn't rush downstairs. He waited. He needed to meet her as himself. Not the man who chased. Not the man who begged. Just the man who stayed. The doorbell rang. Once. He opened the door. They stood there, facing each other, neither moving. Matteo stirred behind her, rubbing his eyes. Hi, Noah said. Lena nodded. Hi. That was all. It was enough. They sat in Noah's living room. No skyline view this time. Curtains drawn. Morning light slipping in around the edges. Matteo played on the rug with the blue car, pushing it back and forth between them like a bridge. No one spoke. Time stretched. Noah finally broke the silence. "I won't fight you for him," he said. Lena's head snapped up. "What?" "I'll fight for him," Noah corrected. "But not against you." She studied his face, searching for the angle. The trick. "There's no play here," he said. "I fired the lawyers my father hired. I released the records myself." Her breath caught. "I told the truth," he continued. "All of it. About the hospital. About the cover-up. About my absence." She felt unsteady. "Why?" "Because if I ask you to trust me," he said, "I have to be someone worth trusting." Mateo made a soft car noise. Neither of them smiled. Later that morning, they walked into the courthouse together. Not hand in hand. Side by side. The building was old. Stone steps worn smooth by decades of feet. An American flag snapped in the wind. Lena adjusted Mateo on her hip. Noah opened the door. Inside, the air was cool and still. They passed through security. Sat on a wooden bench. Noah didn't touch her. That mattered. The hearing was brief. Facts. Documents. Questions. Noah spoke when asked. Clear. Calm. Honest. Lena spoke when she had to. Her voice steady, even when her hands shook. Mateo sat on her lap. Quiet. Eyes wide. At one point, the judge looked down at him and softened. "Child looks healthy," she said. "He is," Lena replied. "He always has been." The judge nodded. There was no ruling yet. Just steps forward. Just time. But when they walked back outside, the sun was higher. The world felt different. They didn't go their separate ways. They went to a diner across the street. Vinyl booths. Coffee too hot. A chalkboard menu written in uneven letters. Mateo sat between them, coloring with a crayon someone had dropped before. Noah wrapped his hands around the mug. "I don't know what this looks like," he said. "Neither do I," Lena replied. Another pause. "But I know what it can't be," she added. "What's that?" "Secrets," she said. "Or control. Or disappearing." Noah nodded once. "Agreed." Mateo pushed the crayon toward Noah. "Draw," he said. Noah hesitated. Then he did. Terrible car. Crooked wheels. Too many lines. Mateo laughed. That sound hit them both. Later, Noah walked them to the car. Lena opened the back door, buckling Mateo in. She lingered. "I'm still scared," she said quietly. "I know," Noah replied. She met his eyes. "If this hurts him, I'll walk away," Noah said without hesitation. "If staying hurts him, I won't stay." That was the cost. He was willing to pay it. Lena nodded slowly. "Okay," she said. "Not yes, not forever, but okay." That night, after Mateo fell asleep, Lena sat alone on her couch. She didn't cry. She felt something else instead. Relief. Not because the danger was gone, but because she was no longer alone in it. Her phone buzzed. A message from Noah. "Thank you for coming back." She stared at the screen, then typed, "Thank you for standing up." She set the phone down. For the first time in a long time, she slept. Across the city, Noah stood in his father's empty house. Boxes half-packed, walls stripped bare. He walked through the rooms, touching nothing. This place no longer owned him. Tomorrow, he would move closer to Lena's neighborhood. Smaller place, less distance. He knew the cost, and he accepted it. 3 days passed, then a week. Routine settled in quietly. Shared doctor visits, awkward dinners, careful conversations. No grand gestures, just showing up. One afternoon, Noah watched Lena help Mateo wash his hands at a public restroom sink. She laughed when he splashed water everywhere. Noah felt it then. Not fear, not regret. Belonging. It scared him more than anything else ever had. Lena felt it too. In the way Mateo ran back and forth between them. In the way silence no longer felt heavy. In the way Noah listened. Really listened. Still, she waited for the ground to shift. Because it always had. The call came late one evening. Noah answered it on the balcony, voice low. When he came back inside, his face was pale. "What?" Lena asked. "The judge," he said. "She wants a final hearing." Her heart pounded. "When?" "Tomorrow morning." Mateo slept down the hall. The future sat between them, fragile and real. Lena exhaled slowly. "Then tomorrow," she said, "we find out who we are." Noah nodded. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing love anyway. And tomorrow would ask everything of them. The courthouse was quieter this time. No reporters. No murmurs. Just the soft shuffle of shoes and the echo of footsteps on stone. Lena held Mateo's hand. Noah walked on her other side. Not touching, but close enough to feel the heat of each other's presence. Mateo squeezed both their fingers, one small hand, two adults holding on like it mattered. Because it did. The judge reviewed the final documents carefully. Noah stood when asked, spoke without rushing. No speeches, no defenses, just truth. "I was absent," he said, "not by choice but by fear. And I won't let that fear decide my son's life." Lena stood next. Her voice shook at first, then steadied. "I didn't hide him out of anger," she said. "I hid him out of love. Everything I did was to keep him safe." The judge looked down at Mateo. Mateo waved. That small moment shifted the room. After a long pause, the judge spoke. "Primary custody remains with Ms. Alvarez," she said. "Mr. Reed will have shared guardianship and full parental rights." Lena's breath caught. Noah closed his eyes. The judge continued. "This child will benefit from honesty, stability, and cooperation. I expect both." "Yes," Lena said. "Yes," Noah echoed. The gavel tapped once. Done. Outside, the sun felt warmer than it had in weeks. Mateo wriggled free and ran in a circle on the steps, laughing. Lena leaned against the railing, hands shaking now that the tension had broken. Noah stood beside her. They didn't speak for a moment. Then he said, "Thank you." She nodded. "Don't make me regret it." He smiled gently. "I won't." That was the promise. Not forever. Just today. Life didn't change overnight. It softened. Noah moved into a small house 10 minutes away. White siding. A porch that needed paint. A backyard Mateo immediately claimed as his own. Lena kept her job for now. Same mornings. Same coffee run. But she walked lighter. They learned how to share space. Doctor appointments. Preschool tours. Arguments about bedtime. Normal things. The kind that mean everything. One evening, months later, they stood in Noah's backyard. A grill smoked gently. Fireflies blinked in the grass. A radio played an old song low and easy. Mateo chased bubbles. Lena watched him, arms crossed loosely now. Not in defense, just habit. Noah stepped beside her. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded. "Yeah." She hesitated. Then added, "I'm not scared anymore." He looked at her. "Neither am I." They stood there as Mateo ran back, breathless. "Again?" he demanded. Noah laughed. Blew another wave of bubbles. Mateo squealed. Lena felt it settle in her chest. Peace. Later, after Mateo fell asleep on the couch between them, Lena didn't move him right away. She watched Noah brush a curl off Mateo's forehead. The same gesture. New meaning. "You stayed," she said quietly. Noah nodded. "I will." She believed him. That was the miracle. If you've stayed with this story until now, if you've felt the weight of choices and the quiet courage it takes to tell the truth, then you know this wasn't just about a child. It was about standing up when walking away would have been easier. Some stories ask to be carried, not skipped, and choosing to stay with them says something about your heart. Lena reached for Noah's hand. This time she didn't pull back. Months later, they stood in line at a grocery store in a quiet neighborhood. Mateo sat in the cart holding the blue toy car. The cashier smiled. "Cute family." Lena glanced at Noah. Noah glanced at her. They smiled. "Thank you," Lena said. That night, after Mateo was asleep, they sat on the porch. Crickets. Distant traffic. A soft breeze. No grand declarations. Just quiet. Noah spoke first. I don't know what comes next. Lena leaned her head against his shoulder. We'll figure it out, she said. And they would. Together. Stories like this don't survive unless people are willing to sit with them, feel them, and carry them forward. Staying here matters more than you think. Inside, Matteo slept peacefully. Outside, two people who had been broken in different ways learned how to stand whole side by side. Love hadn't arrived loudly. It arrived honestly. And that was enough. Do you believe some people are worth the wait? Drop a heart in the comments if this story hit you. Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as crazier and more intriguing as you can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click on the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.